Hi, thank you for watching Crafty Hands Club YouTube channel. I am Carice Jefferson, and today I am going to talk to you about how you as a crafter can connect with others through storytelling. And the reason for this video is because a lot of times when you are selling handmade goods, you are more focused on the selling part instead of the connecting part. And connecting with other people is very important, but more important is the story, because people may not buy the product or service, they are buying you actually. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what is story sharing, why your story matters, how you can tell your story, and what ways to do that. And I'm also going to talk about the power of your story. So, we all have stories to tell, right? We've all experienced things, we've all made accomplishments, we've all had crossroads in our lives, went through some pain points, all of the above. We're all on this journey of life. Well, the same thing applies to crafting. It's no different. And people like to buy from those that they feel humanly connected to, whether they have something in common, and it doesn't have to be big. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be, big and grandiose. Maybe someone in your audience favorite color is the same as yours. Maybe share the same birthday. Maybe like the same flavor of ice cream. There's different ways that you can connect with your audience, but if your audience don't know you as a person, and if they don't experience any humane side of you, it's going to be very hard for you to sell a product to them. So here's why your story matters. First of all, everybody deserves the right to tell their story. We all have a story inside. And it's a great way for you to use your voice. And there's many ways for you to use your voice, verbally or non-verbally. Also, your story can encourage somebody. It can be inspirational to someone. Let's say you survived cancer and someone in your audience has just been diagnosed with cancer. If they hear your story about what you went through in your treatments and how you made it to the other side where you rung the bell, that gives them some encouragement to go through their treatments and their appointments instead of focusing on the illness itself. Someone could be inspired. Let's say someone in your audience like your post on social media, but may not be a crafter. And you share stories about what craft did for you, how it improves some areas of your life, or how do you feel after you do them. That can inspire the person that never attempted a craft before to say, you know what, I'm going to try a project after hearing this person's story. Now, here's what storytelling is not. Storytelling is not telling your business. Now, if you wish to share details of your life, whereas other people might be private about, you could do so, because guess what? Your story is unique, it's for you. Your voice should be authentic, but at the same time relatable. So if you want to do that, that's okay. If you don't, that's fine as well. It doesn't have to be a big story. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It has to be the story that's for you and where you feel comfortable telling it more than one time. So it's not bragging, you know. It's not, tooting your horn all the time and never helping anybody. That's not what story sharing is. And it's also not the opportunity to try to gain sympathy from others either. You want to be authentic and you want to help people through your story. So, in your story sharing, you should talk about either your journey in crafting, Talk about an experience you encountered during your craft journey. Talk about some pain points, like what were some of the toughest lessons you learned? What were some mistakes that you made? A then versus now type of story. What were some accomplishments that you made? Highlights. Whether it's you were featured somewhere, or you received an award, or someone gave you a compliment on your work. It could be anything. And more importantly, though, it should be motivating and helpful to your audience that's listening to your story. Now, the power of your story is powerful because it helps you connect with other people. Again, it's that human touch, it's that human feeling. Everybody wants a sense of belonging. So, to openly tell your story, it gets other people to start talking about their experiences. It gets other people comfortable to want to share their stories, or it gets people motivated to do something. Everybody wants to be heard, but also wants to be a part of something as well. So that's why your story is powerful. You should never be ashamed of your story. You should never feel like your story is not good enough. And you most certainly shouldn't compare your story to other stories, because everybody is at a different walk and point in their life. And what you're going through versus what someone else is going through is different. So don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up if you may not have enough following for people to hear your story. If you just have 10 people following you, or 10 people that believe in what you do and your vision, what you stand for, share your story with those 10 people. I don't care if you have to share with those 10 people, a few times, of course, a different story, and make sure it's truthful. But if it's just 10 people, you have an audience, and the consistency and the value that you deliver every time you show up will grow your base. Don't wait on hundreds and thousands of people to follow you or to be on your email list in order for you to start sharing your story. No, you share your story day one. Share who you are, what you do, why you do, where you trying to go, where you at, and so forth. Let people have a chance to connect with you and know you as a person. It will get you far. Now, what are some ways to tell your story? Well, there's a lot of ways to tell your story. Like right now, I'm on YouTube, right? Talking to you. You can do a video on YouTube. If you're not a YouTube person and don't like to be on video, that's okay. You can record an audio clip and, be on a podcast or start a podcast where you can share your story. If you are not the vocal person, that's okay. You can also share your story through blogs, be a guest blogger, or start your own blog. Submit magazine articles, to publications that are relevant to what it is that you do and who you are. You can share your story through poetry. If you are a person that writes poetry and likes to do spoken word, you can do that. You can share it through song lyrics. Also, you can share it through images. Like, let's say you took a photo of the very first craft project that you did, right? And if it's your very first craft project, you didn't get it all the way you didn't get it perfect. Okay? You made a mistake, or you might not have made mistakes but felt like you could have done it better. Share that story. Say, I remember years ago, this was my first time crocheting this hat, and I used this size needle. Now I use this size needle, which is the correct size for the crochet, and this is the way the hat looks. Now, that's the story you could share. Or if it's a group you belong to where you share common interests, right? You know, maybe a club for wives, or a craft club for individuals that live in Texas, or, you know, whatever the common interest is, right? Share that story in the group. Also, in your images, it could maybe be an image of a particular place you go to take a craft class, or to buy your craft supplies. That's another way to share your story, or your favorite item that you love to use while you're crafting. That's a story to tell, right? And this gives you more content to put on social media. Like, when it comes to, you know, sharing your story, it should never be complicated, because it should naturally flow, because it's your story. You just have to figure out the different ways that you could tell a story, and how to keep your audience engaged. Here's some ways to do that in terms of like where, right? There's social media groups. Look up hashtags underneath a particular topic or something that resonates with your story, and comment on other people's posts, and add the value first before you start going in there to talk about yourself. Introduce yourself. There's forum groups such as Reddit or on Quora. Share some things about yourself. Build and cultivate those relationships. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It may take some people a few months or a few weeks and they get comfortable. Some people, it may take over a year. Like, I'm part of a Toastmasters group here in Chicago, and I was attending for well over a year before I even considered a membership. So that goes to show you that not everything has a set time. Do it when you're comfortable, do it when you're ready. And also, another way using online platforms is, again, shared sites where you can, particularly there are some blog sites where you just submit a blog post and upload, and your blog is right there. That's another way to share your story as well. So if you have any questions about anything that I just said as it relates to connecting with others while sharing your story, please put them in the comments below this video. If you love this video, you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, go ahead and hit that red button so that you'll receive notifications when new videos have been uploaded. Again, thank you for watching Crafty Hands Club YouTube channel. See you next time.